Did you know that having a U.S. entry waiver does not guarantee you'll be allowed to cross the border? Border officers have the power to override it, and today I'm going to explain how and why. I'm Dan Joffe, dedicated U.S. entry waiver lawyer at NextLaw. In this video, you're going to learn the 5 key ways border officers can override your U.S. entry waiver. First, you'll learn how they can spot additional grounds for inadmissibility your waiver doesn't cover. Second, I'll reveal how they catch inconsistencies in your statement. Third, you'll understand the true extent of their discretionary power. Fourth, I'll show you how they identify incomplete information. And finally, you'll discover how they can use your recent behavior to override your waiver. Part 1, additional inadmissibility. Let's dive into part 1, additional inadmissibility. Here's what border officers look for: reasons to deny your entry that aren't covered by your waiver. Your U.S. entry waiver covers specific mistakes in your past. It is not a blanket permission slip. So if, for example, you got a waiver for a past fraud conviction, but then you tell the officer about a recent arrest, they can and probably will deny your entry into the United States. Part 2, inconsistencies. Moving on to part 2 regarding inconsistencies. This is where border officers really show their investigative skills. They compare everything you said to what's in your waiver application. If there are any discrepancies between what you wrote and what you tell them, they can deny your entry on the spot. Let me give an example. If you stated on your application that you haven't been arrested since your original conviction, but the officer discovers a recent arrest, even if it didn't lead to a conviction, they'll likely turn you away. They take your credibility very seriously. Part 3, officer discretion. Part 3 gets to the heart of it, which is officers' discretion. The CBP officers have the authority at the border, and their authority is nearly absolute. Think about it like this. Your waiver is like a ticket to a club, but the border officer is like the bouncer who can decide not to let you in, no questions asked. They have the power to make judgment calls based on their interpretation of the law, their assessment of your case, and yes, even their gut feeling about you. This is why how you present yourself to them matters so much. Part 4, incomplete information. Let's talk about part 4, which is incomplete information. Officers are trained to spot gaps in your story. Even with a waiver, if they feel your application was missing crucial documentation or didn't tell the full story, they can deny your entry. It's like showing up to court with half your evidence missing. The judge, or in this case, the officer, needs to see the complete picture. If there are gaps, they'll err on the side of caution and might deny your entry. Part 5, recent conduct. Finally, part 5 is about your recent conduct. This is where officers really flex their authority. Your waiver might cover that theft charge from 5 years ago, but what about that bar fight from last month? Officers can use recent incidents, even if they seem minor to you, to completely override your waiver. Again, your waiver is granted specifically for issues which you've discussed at the time of your application. It doesn't protect you from new problems, and officers know this. If you need help with your U.S. entry waiver application, reach out to schedule a free confidential call with me. The link is in the description of this video. Thanks for watching.